Hi everybody. In the first video, we ended up with her decision to rehabilitate the environment. After that, what happened when you started working with the women? How the rural women who are uneducated, illiterate, how they responded to your call. Vangari Mate. Well, the first time when I told them, let us plant trees, the women said they didn't know how to plant trees. When I told them that we would plant trees, so they told that they didn't know how to plant trees. So I asked the foresters to come and teach them. Who are the foresters? Those professional people, foresters. So they were invited and they were asked to teach these illiterate rural women about planting trees and all. But they are professionals. Their professional language couldn't be understood by these rural women. So that was the moment Vangari Mate decided that she herself would teach them how to do this planting and all. But they were very complicated because they are professionals. It became very complicated for ordinary illiterate women. So I told the women, we shall use our common sense and just do what we do with other seeds. Dealing with seeds is not a new thing to us, my dear women. So let us do with these seeds also the way what we do with other seeds like food crops and all. Women work on the farms. They are the ones who plant. They are the ones who cultivate. It is the women who are working on the farms and they cultivate. They are the ones who produce food. So I told them that seeds of trees are like any other seeds. The seeds of these trees, which I want them to nurture and plant, those seeds also just like seeds of any other plant. So if they were to treat these tree seeds the same way they treat other seeds of food crops, there is no difference. Okay, the way they have been dealing with the seeds of food crops, the same way if they deal with these seeds also, then there is no difference. I told them to look for old broken pots even and put seeds there. So she asked them to manage some broken old pots and asked them to put seeds there. They will germinate, these seeds would germinate, sprout, and they will know these are the seedlings from the seeds they planted. And we gave them plastic bags to be able to put those seedlings and to nurture them so that they would become saplings. And when they were about half a meter long saplings, then they could go and transplant those saplings on their farms. In the beginning, it was difficult. Of course, just like any other thing, in the beginning, simple planting trees also was difficult. But they soon gained confidence and they became very competent foresters. But soon they became very confident and they became competent foresters. It means they could even compete with those professional foresters. That's why lovingly, affectionately, Vangari Mate addressed them or called them foresters without diplomas or without certificates. Okay. NHK Radio. Why do you think they responded so well to your message? Of course, a good question. Okay, ma'am, why do you think that they have responded so well to your message? Because I spoke to them in their own language. What their own language is? Okay, they had problem about their basic needs. I convinced them saying that by doing so, their basic needs would be fulfilled. That made them respond to my message. It was a need. Simple answer. It was a need. Ma'am, why do you think that they responded to your message? Need. When the women said they needed firewood and building material, we responded to that need. Plant trees, then you will have trees for firewood. In the tropics, trees grow very fast. In the tropical climate, trees grow very fast. In 5 to 10 years, these trees serve as firewood, as building materials. Okay, then a span of 4 to 5 years, no doubt these trees, as they grow very tall in the tropical climate, and you can use them, okay, for fire energy requirements also, that is firewood and all, and as a building materials also. Once we had planted those trees, we saw the need for them to understand why we have to have good governance. After making them fulfill their basic needs and all, okay, Vangari Mate, being a true leader, she thought that she should make them educated about the governance or the way they are governed. Okay, so it became important to give them civic education. So she started giving them civic education, how they are governed, how they are electing the government, in turn the elected government, how it is governing them, so that they could understand how we govern ourselves, why we govern ourselves the way we govern ourselves, why we are managing our environment the way we are managing it. Okay, she started giving them civic education also. Because we were dealing with the environment, we gave them education both in civics and also in environment. That made them understand clearly why they should take up the responsibility of protecting their environment. So slowly, these illiterate rural women understood, okay, why they should take individual and collective responsibility to protect their environment, because their lives are dependent on this rehabilitated environment which is to be protected. That it was not the responsibility of the government, of course. Okay, government couldn't do anything. Let the government be anywhere and any form of government. The government couldn't do okay, so all those things. That's why to some extent, okay, as people they also had to do something. And so it is not only the responsibility of the government, so it is the responsibility of somebody else to come up and rehabilitate their environment is a very false misconception. So they have to do all these things on their own. Okay, it is them, it is their responsibility, it is they who had to fight for that good governance and all, and it is their responsibility because they are fighting for their own environment on which their lives are dependent. Now, what transformations did you see? Okay, fine, ma'am. Then what transformation you had seen? One of the bigger transformations that I saw was that the ability of an ordinary illiterate woman to get to understand and to be able to plant trees. That is the one of the biggest transformations. Okay, because these illiterate women who said earlier that they didn't know how to plant trees, and they learned and started rehabilitating the environment by planting trees. That was the good transformation. Okay, and because of which within a span of 5 to 10 years, okay, they became big trees, and she was able to cut them and be able to give herself energy to be able to sell those trees and give herself an income. That surplus wood and that surplus firewood and that surplus building material, so she could very well sell it, thereby getting some money also, financially also they would become independent. There is also a bigger transformation. So the moment we feel that we are not dependent for our basic financial requirements and all on anybody, no doubt naturally it gives us confidence and dignity. Okay, because they no need to have beg. Okay, to be able to feel confident that she had done something for herself. This is the main thing. Okay, so feeling that we are doing something to ourselves, that gives us good confidence. That sense of pride, they are feeling proud. Okay, sense of dignity, that they are not begging. Okay, maybe not that earlier they had been begging and all, but certainly for those requirements they were dependent on the government or on the people. In some sense, indirectly, it amounted to begging. But having become independent now, okay, they don't have to. Okay, so depend like that. So certainly that gives them a feeling of dignity and all. That they are not begging, that they are doing things for themselves was very empowering. So people getting a feeling that they are doing the things for themselves, that thought itself is very, very empowering, that empowers them. The transformation was very powerful. The other transformation is the transformation of the landscape. This landscape that was dirty, that was dusty, that was polluted, and tremendous change took place in this landscape. Places where there was dust, there are no more dust. There are trees, even birds and rabbits. Slowly this lost local biological diversity like plants and birds and animals, they started coming back, which made them forest a forest. Okay, they come back and they make the environment very beautiful. Unless this diversity is there, what environment is? Okay, they made this environment beautiful, this flora and fauna. There is a shade, and sometimes even dry springs come back because the water is not running and getting wasted into the oceans and seas. The water is going into the ground, thereby raising the ground level water tables. Very profound transformation, very important transformation. And the other transformation that I saw was willingness of the people to fight for their rights. This is a social transformation. Now people are ready to come forward to fight for their rights, even at the cost of even their lives also. Okay, sometimes. So to decide that they have a right to good, clean environment. Getting good, clean environment is their birthright. They understood and they realized it, and they started fighting for that right, to claim for that right, to decide that they will fight for their forest, they will protect their forest, and they will not allow corrupt leaders to take their public land. This is a social transformation. Okay, so that would give result, and that would give fruit forever and ever to the future generations also. In that way, landscape transformation and individual transformation and social transformation also so have taken place because of this wonderful woman Wangari Maathai's green belt movement. Now, how do you think you can influence the rest of Africa? The interviewer so cleverly asked, okay ma'am, you have influenced your country, I mean your country. Now how you think that you can influence the whole continent? How do you think you can influence the rest of Africa? You made some difference in South Africa. What about rest of Africa? South Africa is not Africa. Okay, there are many other countries in Africa. So how you think that you can influence the rest of Africa? Okay, she was asked by this NHK radio. Wangari Maathai, our efforts will inspire other people in the other countries to stop wasting their resources, particularly human resources, and their youth in wars, and instead engage in creating peaceful environment. By seeing the fruitful results and a peaceful environment in our country, no doubt in the rest of Africa, other countries, okay, certainly they would not waste their human resources in wars and all, and instead they would engage the young, energetic, enthusiastic people, okay, that human resources engage in creating a peaceful environment. And once the environment is peaceful, no doubt more peaceful states. States here does mean that countries. I am very happy about the fact now in Africa you see new efforts of ensuring that Africans engage in dialogue. Now I feel very happy to say to you that now instead of waging wars, okay, to settle the issues, now these Africans, okay, now they have realized that the best way to resolve any dispute is not engaging in wars and all, okay, sitting across the table and negotiating for the desired result. Okay, this is a very good transformation. That they invest in peaceful negotiations for conflicts, that we manage our environment. We must restore our environment and try to ensure that we don't fight. Okay, not only should the environment be restored, but also, okay, we should not engage, involve in wars or conflicts. Because we are allowing environment, especially the land, to be degraded, and then we fight over agricultural land and grazing land. What actually the cycle has become is, first we are allowing the environment is to be degraded, and after that whatever that is left over it, okay, we started fighting and all, and after that, okay, again we started rehabilitating that degraded environment. This vicious cycle should be stopped. And I see a lot of hope in what is happening in Somalia, a very backward country in Africa, in the world. Now positive response and positive effects are taking place, okay, in a country, Somalia. What is happening in Sudan, what is happening in West Africa, okay. So she is very hopeful seeing what is happening in a few backward African countries like Somalia, Sudan and West Africa. I see a lot of African leaders encouraging each other to engage in dialogue rather than in wars. Now the interview is ended with a good question, that is, what is one thing we can do? NHK radio asked this Nobel Peace Prize winner. She won that Peace Prize just by planting trees. just by planting trees, but the plants are crores in number. So this environmental activist who won that Nobel Peace Prize, and of course she is no more, she passed away. So what she told, on being asked what is that one thing, okay, so we could do, for me my greatest activity is to plant a tree. What she said is that the greatest activity for her is to plant a tree. On this occasion, if we recollect the very first lesson, that is attitude is altitude, where at the end of that lesson Nick Vujicic, what he said, okay, if I change one person, if I can make one person positive minded, optimistic, if I can give hope and courage to only one person, okay, I may have traveled across many countries and might have met lakhs of people. Lakhs of people might have been inspired and all, but it is to motivate themselves only. But as far as I am concerned, if I give hope and courage and confidence, okay, who had lost these things and entertaining such negative thoughts even to end their lives, if I give hope and courage to such person, even one person, then I feel my work in this life is done. Okay, all these great people are almost all similar in their mindset and all seems to be. So in this lesson also, this Wangari Mate, what she says, on being asked what is that one thing, okay, so she would suggest, okay, for them to do, she said that just plant a tree. For me, my greatest activity is to plant a tree. Plant a tree, not plant trees also. Plant a tree, you plant a tree, I plant a tree, then they become plants and forests. I think that a tree is a wonderful symbol for the environment, and when we plant a tree, we plant hope. Okay, so plant is a very good symbolic nature for environment, and once we plant a plant, then we plant hope for the future. We plant the future for ourselves, for our children, for the birds. Once we plant a plant, what actually we do is we plant hope. Hope to whom? Hope for the future, hope for our children, hope for our plants, hope for our birds, hope for our environment, hope for our humanity. Okay, we plant something that will last long after we are gone. And moreover, by planting a tree, okay, we can assure ourselves that even after we are gone, because we are mortal, we are not immortal in nature, but these mortal people, okay, by just planting a tree, they could make themselves immortal having the tree, because the tree would be there long after they are gone. Okay, she said we plant something that will last long after we are gone by just planting a tree. That is the one thing, okay, I suggest that we could do. So with this, this entry is over. Now, as you have seen, my dear 10th class children, appearing for public examination this year, that is July 10th onwards, particularly AP students, you have very limited questions to write. Otherwise, all are multiple choice questions only. Whether you opt for choices or whether you have to write, unless you understand the lesson thoroughly from point to point, line by line, okay, you cannot answer, okay, so correctly. That is as far as your examinations and your marks are concerned. But once again, I request you, please keep on asking yourself why this lesson is given to us at this stage. Certainly not to score marks and grades, okay, to graduate from 10th class to next year. Okay, a few states have already announced that they are promoted. Okay, of course they would pursue their future studies without this SSC or 10th class examinations and all. But as a 15-year-old, okay, who spent 1 year, okay, in your life studying this 10th class subjects, okay, let it be English, Telugu, Hindi or any other subjects and languages, okay, how you have grown in this 1 year, that makes the difference. It is not the certificates. Otherwise, practically, as you know, okay, without even writing examination also, now you get your 10th class certificate, pass certificate, that too. So please understand why the lessons are given the way they are given, and why the choice of those lessons. First lesson is attitude, I mean personality development, wit and humor to lighten the topics. After that, human relations. Okay, so which are very strains of nowadays. And the next one is, okay, again light reading, that is the films and the theatre. Though it seems to be light reading because the title makes us feel that maybe it is a light reading, that is films and theatre. But Renjao Vitre, so certainly that gives a wonderful lesson for us. Okay, so how to make friendship and how to make friendship last longer. Okay, so such lessons we can learn from that beautiful friendship between Father Gaston Roberge and one of the greatest directors of the world India produced, that is Satyajit Ray, who passed away in 1992, and Mahanati Savitri. Okay, so how a movie, even how a thing, okay, so can be made immortal by the precautions and by the things what they did to make that movie Maya Bazar. And after that, the next reading, that is environment. Next is nation and diversity. So if you notice how the themes are arranged, okay, so slowly, so topics are going towards a bit of serious in nature, and environment, and next is nation and diversity. What could be the intention? Personally, I feel that to make us not only good human beings but also good Indians. Thank you very much for being with me. Thank you. Take care. Bye.